Good afternoon, everyone. I know everyone has just come from a long 2-hour session and lunch, so I hope you guys are all full, happy, and maybe even a little bit sleepy. I know I could use a nap right now. So to get started, I just wanted to do some GIS trivia real quick to get you guys maybe just awake. So I have just a few questions up here. If you guys know the answer, just shout it out, and I have prizes, so you'll win something if you get it right, okay? The first question is, in 1969, who founded the Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc., also known as ESRI? Who said that? My man. Can you catch? You want a football or a green ball? All right. Perfect. There's Jack Dangerman. Yep, exactly right. Question number 2, which brand outfitted 3 bottles of beer with GPS units? Was it Heineken, Pabst, Coors, or Corona? Coors. Who said Coors? That's not right. Good guess, though. Pabst? Nope. There's one left. Heineken? Nope. Corona. She got it. Can you catch? Oh, look at you. Look at you. All right, this question is really important. This is probably the most important question that you're going to see all day, okay? True or false? The earth is flat. Who said true? Dude, it's actually true. It's true. Who disagrees with that statement? The fact that everybody's hand's not going up right now is a huge red flag. It's obviously false. So this goes out to somebody, and then this one can go out to somebody too. Cool, thanks. My name is Josh Billings, guys. I am the GIS administrator with the City of Winston-Salem Recreation and Parks. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that we have done in the Recreation Department, how we have utilized GIS to really change how we do business in our department. A little bit about us, we have almost 4,000 acres of parkland that we manage. Within those 3,800 acres, we have 88 parks, 27 miles of greenway. We also have several other miles of primitive trail. We have 17 recreation centers, 2 golf courses, 2 lakes. We have 8 outdoor pools, 14 splash pads. We have a lot going on. A couple of years ago, our director, William Royston, thought it would be a great idea to have someone specifically devoted to recreation parks as a GIS person. I was lucky enough to be able to fill that role, so for the past couple of years, we have really utilized GIS to its fullest capability. We have hit the ground running with this and came up with a lot of different solutions that we can bring to the table to be able to do business differently in our department. We've done everything from asset inventory to park planning activities. We have looked at crime analysis, and we have even developed a mobile app. All of this to say is to help us make smarter decisions, and you guys have seen this phrase 1,000 times, help us to make more data-driven decisions. And that's exactly what we have been doing here in the City of Winston-Salem. What I want to do with you guys is share 4 or 5 different applications that we have worked on. Obviously, I could probably talk hours about the stuff we've done. 20 minutes is not a whole lot of time. So I just want to show you guys a few brief overview of the things we've done. The first thing that we did when I got this role was to create a comprehensive asset inventory of everything that we have in our parks. Before I came here, the only data that we had was really park polygon layers and recreation center data. So what I did was went out to our parks and mapped everything out that was in our parks. You guys have seen park locators before. I know this is not a new concept to you, but this has been really useful for our staff and also for citizens as they look for things that we can offer in our city. So we can search for parks here if we want to look at a specific park, like Haynes Park. We can search for it there. We can go right to it. If we wanted to find specific amenities near us, we can use the Near Me tool, put a location on the map, and it tells us everything that we have within that 1-mile radius. So pools and splash heads, athletic courts, trailheads, and greenways as well. If someone is looking for a list of all of our specific assets that we have, they could go here and find something that they're looking for. Let's say basketball courts, for example. They can find a list of all of our basketball courts, and they can even look at 360 photos, which I'll share more about here in just a second. What sets our park locator apart, I think, from everyone else is that we have every single asset that we have in our parks mapped out. So down to trash cans, we have everything mapped out. All of our lights, benches, water fountains, anything that is in our parks physically, we have that mapped out in our park locator. This is kind of how we were kind of keeping track of our assets before. This is our memory tree program. We work in coordination with our vegetation management department on this. What they were doing is when they would go out to one of our parks and plant a tree in memory of someone's loved one, they would literally draw out a map by hand. They would put a number corresponding to the number of the tree that they were planted, and then they would go to the office, pull up an Excel spreadsheet, and then write the name out of the name that corresponded with the person on the tree on the map. And for every park that we have memory trees in, there was a brand new Excel file for that park. So you guys can already see what kind of headache this would cause if someone needed to look for a specific tree in our parks. So what we were able to do is basically digitize all that, bring it into our GIS system. So now it's as simple as just searching for a name. It pulls it up exactly where it is. You can look at photos and find all the information that you need to find right there within our park locator. Next, as I mentioned, are our 360 photos. This is not an inherent GIS technology, but the way we have used it is bring it into our GIS so that we can start looking at our assets in different types of ways. I was having a conversation with William Royston, our director, a couple weeks ago, and he described 360 pictures like this. He said, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, 360 photos are worth 1,000 conversations. And I looked at him and I was like, William, that is the best thing you could ever say about 360 photos. And this is, I don't think I could describe it a better way. Our 360 photos have really helped us tell our story. Over the past several years, we have invested over $60 million in our park system for improvements to really revitalize what it is that we have going on in our parks. Now, these things are really cool. If a citizen wanted to learn more about a picnic shelter, all they would have to do is pull up one of these. If they wanted to know if there was lights in this picnic shelter, all they would have to do is look. There's lights here. You can see if there's a playground nearby. You can also see if there's grills. Anything that anybody wants to know about a particular asset or amenity, they can find it here. A couple years ago, around the same time that I started my position, we created a position called the Teen Violence Prevention Manager. We hired this guy to specifically create programs in our community to help reduce the amount of crimes that are happening in our city. We partnered with the Winston-Salem Police Department to begin getting data from them about the crimes that are happening in our community. This dashboard shows all crimes happening within a half mile of our parks. I don't know if you guys can really see this on the side here, but you can filter things out by types of crime, by location. You can look at time ranges. You can also filter out things by juvenile if you want to look at juvenile-specific cases. At the bottom here, we have everything broken out by types of crime and the amount of those crimes that are happening within our city. You can also even look at analytics such as like what day of the week these crimes are occurring on, and you can also look at 3-month trends that have been happening for the past 3 months, and then comparing that to the same time frame of the previous year to see if crime is up or if it's down. Our prevention manager has been using this dashboard to not only share information with our city leadership to see how we're doing as far as crime reduction, but it's also helped him target specific locations where he can create those programs. So if we look, we can kind of see that hotspot there, create programs in that area to help reduce crime. This is a really cool stat as part of that. In 2020, there were 576 crimes involving youth. In 2021, there were 288 crimes. 2022, there were only 114 crimes. So over the past 2 years, we have seen a significant reduction of youth crime, 80% reduction over the past 2 years. I think 2020 was probably a skewed year just because of the craziness that was going on that year, because 2019 was nowhere near that high. Obviously, again, let me go back. This is not because of the crime dashboard. Let me make sure that I'm really clear about that. The crime dashboard did not cause the reduction in crime, but because our policing efforts and also because of our programs and the nonprofit work that people have been doing in our community to really set us up to help with that youth crime. Sometimes emergencies happen on greenways, right? We all know that. We were noticing sometimes we were getting extended amount of response times from emergency personnel, sometimes up to 40 minutes to respond to an emergency on our greenway. We were able to partner with Matt Forsyth County Emergency Services, Winston-Salem Public Safety, and also Forsyth County Parks and Rec to create a system to help improve location tracking on our greenways and also to help improve those response times for emergency personnel. The way we did this was first get all of our trails and all of our greenways inside of our CAD system. Then what we did was added address points every 10th of a mile along our greenways and trails so that as soon as someone calls 911, they can begin tracking exactly where they are on the trail. Something that we're really excited about is our WePlay mobile app. This app was created in ArcGIS App Studio over a period of 6 months. We created this in-house using App Studio templates. This app allows citizens or anyone who has the app to download it and explore all of our assets that we have in our park. So all of our amenities, all of our parks. You can interact with those 360 photos that I showed you earlier. You can get directions using Google Maps and Apple Maps. And you can also reserve picnic shelters and register for upcoming programs. And this has been big for us because before we had this app and the software that runs the reservation system, a citizen had to actually come into our office, sign up for a picnic reservation. They had to pay for it right there. So it was hard on the citizen to reserve those picnic shelters. It took time out of their day, took time out of our day too to get that stuff registered. Now all they have to do, download the app. They can pick whatever shelter they want, pay for it right there in the app, and it's good to go. Same thing with programs. Before, people would have to go actually to the recreation centers to sign up for the programs. Now all you have to do is download the app, and if it's offered through the app, through our software, then they can register for it. As we look to the future, we're really excited. We're constantly brainstorming new ways and new things that we can how we can bring technology into our GIS system. So not only 360 photos, but we want to see how we can integrate 360 videos into our GIS system. We're also really interested as a department, but really as a city, in drones and LiDAR and how we might be able to bring those workflows into our GIS to help us see parks in a new way, a new perspective, and how we might be able to glean some type of insights from that data. We're also really interested in virtual and augmented reality. We, not only from a maintenance standpoint, obviously it would be cool to be able to see what's underground. I'm sure you guys have seen those headsets where you can put them on, you can see the pipes and everything that's going on underground. But we would also like to bring that to a programming aspect. So how we can bring kids out to our parks, have them set up with some kind of virtual augmented reality headset to really get them involved and have more participation in our parks. As I said, we're continuing to brainstorm new ideas, and I'm really excited to be able to be a part of this department. William Royston has a great vision. He's a visionary when it comes to Parks and Rec. He's really passionate about what he does, and I know his vision with my skills and skills of our city in general can really help us to raise the bar with Parks and Recreation and our city. With that, does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
What's been the adoption of implementing them to your app or to your park finder website?
What has been the adoption? As far as how the interest? Yeah, oh, great question. So the Park Locator is used almost every day by our staff, especially. Anytime someone calls in for a question, like a citizen has a question about our park, our staff pulls that up immediately. They have everything that they need to know about the park right there within the Park Locator. We also use, a lot of our city leadership also uses this app for learning more about Parks and Rec and our parks and everything that we have to offer in the park. So anytime that we're in a meeting, we're going to have that park locator up for any questions and just to have that overview, aerial view, and seeing everything that we have in the park. Yeah. That's a great question. We work with the Trust for Public Land to do that every year. So they run their own analysis. We give them all of our data, and they run that analysis and they give us all of our results every year. So every time we get those results, we're always examining those results, analyzing the results, and see how we can do better constantly every year. Yes, ma'am. Great question. So we use the GoPro camera. It was a GoPro Hero Max. It allows for those 360 image captures. And then we uploaded all of those photos to a service called Memento 360. And that allowed the interactivity for the pictures. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. That's a great question, too. So the standard for park accessibility is about a 10-minute walk or a half a mile, which is about the same. So that's how we came up with the half-mile radius. Any other questions? Yes, sir. You said a registration system? Reservation system. Yes. So you can also do that from the park locator. You can do it from the park locator or from the mobile app. So if you wanted to reserve a picnic shelter, say 2 months from now, you could pull up the mobile app, have that reservation system. I didn't create the reservation system, so if that's what you're asking. We use a third party for that. Yeah. It's called SmartRec. Yes, sir. Yes. Yep, we do. We use CityWorks. We don't have everything in CityWorks at the moment, but we are transitioning to getting all of that asset information into CityWorks. Yep. Any other? Yes, sir. Thanks, William.